Hello everyone, how are you? This is Grandpa Hickory. I wanted to talk to you about growing up and the difficulties to face. You know, I had a best friend that truly wanted the best for me, and I was a hard-headed teenager. I had a guitar and an amp, I had a little band. We played all over Oak Cliff. We were known as the Oak Cliff Beats. And my friend would talk to me and tell me, you really ought to kind of work harder at your schoolwork. But I was into music. Listen, I was into music. The Beatle thing was going, and me and my band, the Oak Cliff Beats, we would do Beatle numbers and things like that. And we had girls screaming. Our suits were literally tore up. I mean, the girls tore the buttons off our suits, and they wanted them for souvenirs. But we played different places, skating rinks, rocket skating rink. We played all over the place. The Bronco Bowl, and in Oak Cliff, and this was back in the 1960s, the early 1960s, around 63, 64, 65, 66, well, all the way up to 69. And meanwhile, my friend talked to me and said, listen, I had a Beatle haircut, and of course, my accent was quite a bit more than what it is now, and it literally drove the girls wild. So we kind of capitalized on that. And anyway, my friend talked to me and told me, you really ought to cut your hair and maybe even get you a job. Well, I wouldn't hear that. Hey, I'm like everybody else, I mean, hey, we were going to live forever. I was going to be forever young. I wasn't going to get old. Everything would be fine. Everybody would be right there. My best friend would always be right there. And I could reach out and just touch him. Well, time went on. Different things happened. Growing up is really hard to do. And it really causes things to happen when you're a teenager and you're going on up in age, and you feel like you're on top of the world, especially if you can play guitar. You can sing, and I also played harmonica. I was lead singer, and it looked like we were really going to go places. We had recording contracts with Summit Sound Recording Studios of Dallas, Texas, and we did a lot of background songs and things like this, background music, and for other bands, and we did all kinds of things, and things were looking so very great. Well, my best friend was my dad. And you see, he always encouraged me. Me and him did everything together. We fished and hunted together till I got into my band, and I devoted all my time to the band. It's all I ate, drank, and slept. Nothing but music. And we wrote songs, me and my lead guitarist. And we were in the recording studios, I mean, hours upon hours. And it was grueling times. We had to do take after take after take. And, my dad kept telling me, son, you've got to think about your future. You got to think about your future. Well, my band members, they got into drugs. And the next thing I know, they were sentenced to prison. Well, all of a sudden, there I was with my guitar. I was alone. I had no band. And I remember going home. I went to my home. We lived at 622 West Pembroke in Dallas, Texas, right off Llewellyn Street, right in front of John F. Peeler School at that time. This was, I don't remember the exact date, but anyway, I set my guitar down on my stand and I was sitting there just looking at it because, you know, my whole world had ended. I mean, everything that I wanted to do, all of a sudden, didn't work. And everything that I had figured out, how things were going to be, well, it wasn't that way anymore. Isn't that the way it is with all of us when we're growing up? And it comes time for us to leave our best friend, and I'm talking about our dad. Well, I was sitting there looking at that, and I heard the door open on the bedroom, and my dad stepped inside the room, and he shut the door behind him. He stood there, and he said, "Son?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I heard about your band." I said, "Yeah. He walked over there and he laid some money down on my bed. And I said, "What's that for?" He said, "That's for you to get a haircut, son." He said, "I'm asking you to go get you a haircut and go get you a job." Well, he opened the door and he went out of the room and shut the door. Well, I got up, I got my guitar off the stand, I put it in my case and I pushed it up underneath my bed. And I got my amplifier and I turned it to the wall. And I took the money and I went and I got a haircut. Then the next day I went and I got hired in a machine shop and I started working. And I met the girl of my dreams. We fell in love. It was love at first sight. And we got married in 1963, December 14th, 1973. And I was the happiest man in the world, you know. And my dad died in 1974, my best friend. And, you know, looking back now, what good did that do me playing in a band and singing and all those things that I did, playing harmonica, spending literally hours in front of a microphone, singing my head off. We sung so much we got hoarse. Then we'd have to get up the next day, get everything ready, and go back in and sing again. We played at the Beckley Club on Jefferson. It was a restaurant. And we played all over the place constantly, all up and down Jefferson Street and Oak Cliff. We did the back alleys. And we had so many people. The police often come out there, and there were like 4 to 6 squad cars. And they would walk around in the crowd, and a lot of times they come up front and kind of kept the girls from coming on the stage and doing things because, you know, they realized that, yeah, I mean, they were literally going to tear up our equipment. I mean, they wasn't doing it intentionally. It's just they were pressing in so much that, you know, it caused problems. And they were real nice. The officers of the Dallas Police Department were very nice, and they helped us out a lot. But I lost my best friend, my dad, and he never got to see any of my children. My son, the firstborn, was born in December the 18th, 1974. And my dad had died in August, I think it was August the 12th, 1974. He died of lung cancer. And, you know, like I said, it's rough. Growing up is hard times for everyone. So if you're a young person viewing this video, I'm asking you to kind of think about your best friend, your dad I'm talking about. The little man that got up every day, every morning and went to work. Worked hard job, worked all day long, and then came back home. Took his bath, did his shaving, ate his little supper, went in there and sat down in his recliner and watched his little TV show, and then he had to go to bed because he had to get up at 4 o'clock every morning and go to work. There's lots of memories that we all have, isn't there? Well, listen, I'm asking you to hit the like button. I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel. Goodbye from Texas. This is Grandpa Hickory, and I'll see you on the next video. Growing up is rough, isn't it? And then when we look back, all that way back, we miss so very much. Things that we cannot bring back. They're gone forever. I'll see you on the next video.